What's going on, YouTube? It's Ray Stocks. Today, I'm gonna go over how you can get $26,000, like how my account is, if not more, by just following simple rules, right? It's easy. You don't have to be a rocket science knowledge person in the stock market. Anybody can do it. And I'm gonna break it off step by step of how you can invest your money in the stock market and get $26,000, if not more, depending on how your budget is, right? So when I started this account, I started off with like $350, and I just kept buying shares. Every dip I will buy, I will wait till the stock market dips and I will buy, right? So say for example, if you have a job, you have an extra stream of income, or just a job in general, what I would do is I will invest into cheap stocks. Now I'm not saying go out here and buy any cheap stock because you see it's $2 or $3 and you're like, oh, this should go up. No, you want to do your due diligence, do your research, look at balance sheets, and make sure this company is profitable. But some stocks you don't really have to do too much research in, because you know it's profitable, like Amazon, Google, Meta. We know these companies are always going to be around, sticking around. Visa. In order for these stocks to go down, even Apple, people will have to literally stop buying iPhones, literally stop swiping their money. Like, you got a stock for anything you can name, whether it's construction, whether it's sports betting, whether it's social media, oil, steel. There's always a stock in some type of energy, technology, cars. Like, all these stocks are on the US stock market. If not, they're a competitor or some type of nature is on the stock market, right? So for example, right, we can take Lyft. Lyft is like $20, $22 or something like that. You can literally set up a brokerage account and have weekly reoccurring investments of like $50 coming from your bank to your brokerage account, and get 2 shares a week or whatever your finances are looking at. And as the stock goes up, you make money, right? So I bought a lot of stocks at the dip: Google, Nvidia, Tesla, Meta, right? And the list goes on. Lyft. I bought these stocks at a dip, so that way when the stocks rose, I will make money. So a lot of people don't know, like, your bulk of your money is made literally waiting on dips. You want to wait on dips. And that way, when the stock goes up, you're going to make a lot of money. So what I would strongly encourage people to do is find a budget for yourself. And whether it's $20 a week, $50 a week, $100 a week, whatever your budget is, I will have that fit and tailored into the type of stocks that I would want to buy. Now, let's say your budget is $50 a week and you like, okay, I'm only going to buy stocks that's under $50 so I can buy multiple shares of stock, which is a fantastic way to think, right? And we're going to use Lyft as an example. If you have $50 a week coming from your bank going into your brokerage account, and let's say Lyft goes down to $15, you can get more than just one share with your $50. You can get 2, and if it dips, so on, so on. So let's say it dips down to $10, you can get 5 shares. So let's say you have 10 shares, right? So you have 10 shares of Lyft at $10. Every dollar it moves, depending on how many shares you got. Let's say you got 20 shares, 30 shares. Let's say you have 20 shares at $10. Every dollar Lyft moves, you will make $20, and so on and so forth. If you got 50 shares, every dollar moved, it will go up to 50. So that's why it's important to buy cheap stocks on the dip, right? Another one, Archer, right? We have Archer Aviations, real cheap. If you want to buy that, I think it's under $10 or $11, somewhere around there. You want to buy 5 of those a week if you have $50 coming from your bank into a stock that's good, because now you get 5 shares of that. And it's really not hard. A lot of people think stocks are hard. I think it's hard depending on if you want to do it. You have day trading, swing trading, leaps, and then you have shares that just hold in the long term. So I would personally just literally, if you know nothing about stocks, and I think everybody should be in and invested in some type of way, I will literally just buy shares, because it's the easiest way to wealth, and that is where the real wealth is made. You got to think about people who bought Bitcoin at $100, right? That spent thousands at $100. They're literally up, and they're millionaires. They're beating out any day trader, any swing trader, any person that does options. Why? Because they bought the long-term gain cheap, and that's really the name and game of the stocks, right? And I will encourage people to, if you have kids or anything like that, I will make them a custodial account. So my kids, I made my son and daughter a custodial account. Why? Because I want them ahead of the game. I didn't know about stocks until I was about 23 when I started investing into the stock market, 23. So they already have a 23-year head start on me, right? Just for me starting them a custodial account and me putting my money into my kids' custodial account, right? And you can get your kid cheap stocks. It don't have to be the biggest name stocks. Or if you get them 1 or 2 shares or something, that's perfectly fine as well, right? Because they're gonna be holding this for 20 plus years, right? And another way is how you can get started is just if you just hold, right? Income tax money or even any lump sum of money, if you just want to just say, hey, every year X amount is going into the stock market, right? X amount is going into my 401k, X amount is going to whatever you want it to be, I would have a certain amount towards that, right? And you never want to sell these unless it's an emergency or anything like that. Another thing what you can do is, what a lot of people don't tell you is, once you get your stock account so high, you can take a loan out and leverage against your stock account. If you have 50,000 in your stock account, I will literally go to the bank. Okay, can I use this $50,000 stock portfolio, and can I use this to take out a loan, and I'll use this as collateral. Now, I'm not saying everybody should do this, but I'm saying this is something that comes with it that is very powerful that you can use. And then you can use that $50,000 from that loan and your stock account with collateral. Of course, make sure the interest rate is low and it's a good deal for you. And then I would use that money to invest into more stocks or come up with another idea. That way you're making that money back. So stocks is always a generational thing you want to do because you're always going to be able to make money. So if you want some couple stocks right now off the top of my head that's cheap, that's affordable, that's under $50, I will say Lyft. I would say SMCI is like $52, but if it come down, I will most definitely buy that. Archer, any other cheap stocks? That's good. You got quantum stocks. I'm looking to quantum stocks, but I'm not saying buy these stocks. Of course, still do your due diligence on these as well. But I just wanted to give y'all game of how anybody can literally get rich in the stock market. The only thing you're doing is buying and holding long term. Don't look into getting. A lot of people might see on social media people posting results and things like that. It's a lot of fakes on social media and people who fake it and seem like it's not hard. There will be hard times, but you only lose when you sell. That's the name of the game too. You only lose when you sell. There will be times where you might be red because the market is red or whatever news is going on. The market is just literally like going down, whatever news. And that's the same thing with bad news. The market goes down. And with good news, the market goes up. But overall, if you look over the years, the stock market has always risen. So like, share, subscribe to this YouTube. I hope it was very helpful for you guys. I just wanted to break down and let you guys know anybody can make money in the stock market as long as you are investing your money and holding long term, investing into good companies.